7:32. 7:33, right on the dot,
Yep.
just like we planned it. We're on intro music.
Oh.
And cue.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it is, what is today? February
16th.
2 days after Valentine's Day?
That's right. It's my mom's birthday. Shout out to my mom. She's
Shout out to
50
Mom.
today. Yeah. Doing the big 5-0.
That's cool.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
I don't care.
I'm pretty cool. Hate your mom.
I'm glad it was hate your mom right before it just went. It was
Happier.
don't hate your mom.
Love your mom.
In fact, we're talking about Solomon, and Solomon clearly
He had two moms.
did he? He
Sorry.
did.
He had two moms. He dealt with two moms who were
Yes.
fighting over a baby. But
No, but he also had two moms, kind of
maybe he
multiple
did.
mothers.
And then he had multiple
Well,
wives.
his father was David, and so David was
Oh,
married
you're
to
right.
like
Oof.
300 something
Oof.
women.
You're right. Yeah.
But
So he had more than one mom. So there you go.
we don't want it to be awkward here because we know that there's people here
We
who
have
have
300
just
moms.
who just started. History just started last year. So
Right.
so when you bring up polygamy, then especially whenever there's a
A
Mormon
gosh
in the
darn
room.
Mormon.
like every single time we bring this up, can you just point out how like that you the Mormon the Jesus.
We only do it on weekends.
Okay, thank you.
No, we don't. We don't do that.
We don't do that at
We
all.
don't do that anymore.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So
It is not a touchy subject. It is an interesting one to talk about, though, in the church, because everyone who's in the church now is like, that's obviously weird and gross. Like, why
Yeah.
do we do that? And we can go into
It's
the details
taboo.
another time. Yeah, because you're not. That's the thing is, God said don't do it anymore, right? So
Yeah.
we're not supposed to. It's also important to note that we have always believed, even back when Mormons practiced polygamy, we always believed that monogamy is God's way.
sure.
That is the natural way of things. That's the way that He has designed it to be. But for certain circumstances and scenarios, sometimes He changes His rules,
like 2,000 years ago.
like 2,000 years ago, right? And it has to be within the bounds that He sets. He can't just be like, you know what, I'm going to do polygamy now. There has to be reasons for it, right? Back in the Mormon times, in the early days of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the saints were going through a lot of hard times in Missouri. They were actually getting killed and thrown out of city after city just for chilling and not causing any ruckus. And so they moved out to Utah, and they were trying to establish and build a community, and they did, right? They went out there and on their own turned a desert state into an awesome state. But so that at that time, that's probably one of the practical reasons why it was justified. And then when it was done, he goes, okay, no more. And then it stopped. That's like a crash course test on
Cool.
polygamy.
Yeah.
And yeah, today we only do it on the weekends.
So yeah, let's outline that. That may clarify that. So anyway, I'm trying to get better at this intro deal. It's Sunday Morning Live. That's what we're calling this.
That's
I think
right.
That we've said that maybe in one episode. The episode that wasn't an
Only
episode.
our true
where we were
followers.
like an idea.
Yeah.
Like Sunday Morning Live. We're gonna do this every other week.
And what's the purpose of Sunday Morning Live? What are we trying to do?
To manipulate minds and turn people to Christ.
That's right. Manipulate them. Brainwash them, as is the Christian way. That's right. But
Is that right?
that sounds a little, that sounds perfect. I would add to that, the whole idea is, this is the start of the idea that you, for the fellow early Sunday morning risers, is to start your day off right, ideally with some mind-stimulating questions and conversation. Maybe sometimes it's uplifting. Sometimes it makes you think. Either way, you get a healthy dose of Sam and Isaac. So it's a win-win all the way across the board.
Yeah, because here's the thing is, I think Isaac grew up with no friends, and I didn't grow up with real friends.
0 friends.
So now we're sitting across from the table here, and we have this opportunity to be friends with each other.
Boom.
And so there's kids growing up, and I think that maybe this is not for specifically kids, but
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of high schoolers out there that are looking for like answers.
Yeah,
Come
absolutely.
here. Check this out. Check this, because we're trying to what we're trying to do is we're trying to have intimacy between two men, and it be like,
Kosh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. I couldn't think of a word. By the way, you forgot your Bible. I was about to say Bibles.
My Bibles.
Your
My
Bible
Mormon
and
Bible
your Book of Mormon.
and my.
Let's clarify that.
I have it right here. Boom.
There it is.
On my phone.
Well, that's your child.
That is my sound on the front thing of my phone.
Okay, so you sent me that political compass. We're gonna jump into that a little bit later.
Okay.
I feel like we did like what should have been a 2-minute intro, a 10-minute intro, but whatever.
Dude,
we're there.
It can be an hour-long intro. The whole thing could just be one long intro.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that either way.
Yeah, Sunday morning live intro.
That's right. So
Solomon is this dude who's the son of David. Go ahead. Do you want to do the? I'll toss.
Yeah,
okay.
go for it. Solomon is a king in ancient Jewish times who was the son of David. David, as in David and Goliath, who was also a king. Solomon is known for many things: his wisdom, his temple, but the most controversial story is the one with splitting the baby. There you go.
That's right, splitting the baby.
Splitting that baby.
It's not
Got
called
to split the baby.
It's not called splitting the baby in the Bible, but I'm pretty certain that if you have a Protestant type app that I have, that you type in splitting the baby, it will pop up. Okay, no Bible results. I was confident in that.
Splitting the baby. Are you trying to find out where it is? Oh, another disclaimer is we don't know the scriptures very well. We know more or less what things are.
Oh, don't put me in that same camp. It's
Dude, that's
Second
I
King
know for
3.
a fact that's where
No,
you
it's
are.
First King 3:16.
Sounds in that camp.
First
We're
King.
both like,
Look at
oh,
that.
I read this scripture. It's like somewhere like in like the top right hand corner of a page, and like
We're trying to get
Second
away from
chapter.
that, right?
We're trying.
At the end of this episode, we're gonna bring up a challenge. Maybe we could work that into it. Of
Yeah,
like
that'd be great.
memorizing just one
Yeah,
scripture.
scripture. I
One
love it. I actually for my
in 2
birthday
weeks.
just got a brand new Bible
Okay.
and brand new triple combination Book of Mormon.
Really?
Yeah, got a whole stack. They're like brown leather. It's awesome.
Jeez.
So I'm
that
gonna start using them.
sounds like a great gift for you, but it sounds like the worst gift ever for some.
For anyone else, it's like, thanks for this. No, man, I loved it. It's gonna be
Good.
awesome. I was actually because I know you have a Bible that's like leather bound and like really worn and used. I'm like, that's awesome. I want because the ones I have are from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's time for me to get a new set.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want just like a nice one because I want to treasure it. You know.
But mine's pleather.
Oh,
So
well,
like it's
either way.
just because it looks like worn out.
You actually
it's
just had
only
it.
open like at 20, 30 times.
You just
Like this is a message to every kid out there. If you want to look like you have read the Bible, multiple times, just go get a pleather Bible and
Yep.
carry it around with like all of your books
There you
for like
go.
a week, and it will
bada boom. You look like a
it will look the
lifelong
eight.
scholar. Yeah.
So
Right.
So we're here at 1 King 3:16. There's 2 prostitutes.
Are they
up
both
to-
prostitutes?
Yeah, it says 2 prostitutes.
There you go.
And one woman said to the king at that time, Solomon. I think we should also recognize here that Solomon asked for something from God. He did one thing, I wanted to look back and like see whether or not this was normal, like what, like this idea of asking the God
Yeah. For help,
for wisdom. Not something like mammon,
Mhm.
not fame, not fortune, not money, not a beautiful wife, not whatever.
Sure. For wisdom.
Wisdom is something which is something that's not malleable.
Yeah.
So
I think that right there is already a first takeaway. The fact that Solomon, his relationship with God was to the point where the thing he was asking for was a righteous desire. You know what I mean? Like he wanted wisdom. Also, I watched this like animated movie when I was a kid about this. So that's
Avatar,
Yeah.
The Last Airbender.
Yeah, that's Airbender, and I think it's a perfect comparison to Solomon. But that was like an animated Bible story, and so that's where most of my context comes from this. So I got to make sure it's accurate. But I do know that in ancient times, the way that the king was the judge, right? And
Yeah.
the lawyer, and what happens like every day or every period or whatever, people would just go to the palace and they would all be lining up like, hey, we all have these issues we got to fix. Like we want time with the king to fix this problem, right?
Because he's wise.
Yeah, and the king would be like, okay, you come in, let's listen to your problem, take care of it, right? And so this is like Solomon had just become king. David, dead.
Yeah.
Solomon's brother tried to kill him. His life's like kind of a mess, right? Father's dead, brother tried to kill him, so like exiled his brother and said like, he like to overthrow him, and he said, listen, I'm not gonna kill you, you just gotta get out of Israel or wherever they were.
And David also had a pretty crazy life of Saul trying to kill him, who was the last king, and Saul's son Jonathan was really tight knit. I'm just like throwing down with you, like throwing some facts, right?
Give it to him.
Like Jonathan is like the son of Saul, and like really loved David.
Yeah,
like you want to talk about brotherly, like David and Jonathan, like. And then Jonathan ends up dying with his father, which is to the Philistines, I think. Philippines?
Philistines.
Philippinians.
Not the Philippines.
The Philippinians. Those damn Philippinians. We're getting off track.
But yeah, and so bottom line, Solomon having a hard life, having a hard time. And so he's really stressed and anxious. First time as king, he's like, I need help. What's he do? Prays for wisdom.
And that's, I think that's goes to like to say like relationships is that like, in relationships, like, I'd like to spend more time with you, like that's okay. I don't know where I'm going with that.
I think Sam's talking to me directly.
Yeah,
Sam, we can hang out more.
Give you more time.
So,
Solomon's wisdom.
Going. Yep.
Solomon's wisdom is it's not splitting the baby, but basically, I'll just go ahead and just off the cusp. So this was after Solomon became king. Solomon asked for wisdom, and now there's these. He shows the city of Israel, the people of Israel, that he knows that he is
wise.
He is wise.
A king. Yes.
And the way he shows that is basically there's two prostitutes that come in. They both have children the same night, and one of them rolls over on the baby, kills the baby, and takes that dead child and replaces it with the good baby.
Right, with the other woman's baby. And let's also point out that at this point, Solomon hasn't been given the wisdom yet, as far as he knows. All God says is, don't worry, when the time comes, I'll help you. And he's like, okay.
Fair enough.
Yep. And so then he goes, and then he gets this issue. So
that's good to know. It's kind of like, whenever Jesus does the Sermon on the Mount, and the disciples don't actually truly believe in Jesus at that time during the Sermon on the Mount. That needs to be. Anyway, so yeah, he doesn't know, and he's basically there, and he says, "Guard, come here and bring me the child."
Right, because both women obviously say it's theirs. Right.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's like we both want this baby. Who gets the baby?
Who gets the baby?
Yeah.
So he puts it. From this video that I watched the other night on some steps. It's kind of
all right. Yeah.
It was like I don't know. They used to make Bible television. Like
awesome.
Anyway, I wanted to share it. But anyway, so he says, "Okay, guard, pull out your sword and divide it."
Yep. Split in half.
Cut it in half. You get one, and you get one. You get half, and you get half.
Obviously, an irrational decision. Like that's not going to solve the problem, right?
Yeah.
But that's what he says. Like, all right, fine. Cut the very. If Solomon wasn't wise,
because a child is almost not a malleable object. It's like it's kind of like the thing with like if I'm asking for something, like can I have like a Corvette? And instead of asking for a Corvette, asking for wisdom, because it's something that is.
It's intangible, yeah, but.
It's ongoing. It's living.
Sure.
So.
But yeah, so he wants to split the baby, or that's his response is, hey, fine, you guys want the baby, split the baby. And the guard's about to do it, and then what happens?
And then
the big reveal.
Yeah, this is the crux here, is that the woman, one of the women,
the woman that
No, hold on. We want to tell the story
Oh, that's
correctly.
right, that's
and so
right.
the woman
There we
says,
go.
no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
She's like, just give it.
Let the other woman have the baby.
Mhm.
It's better that the woman had the baby than no person have the baby
Right.
at all.
Rather the
That's
baby
not in the
live, yeah.
text, but that's kind of like
Right. She basically said, better for the baby to live and me not get it than the baby to die.
and not for the baby to be with not the rightful.
Yeah. She'd be willing to give up the baby. That's right.
So immediately Solomon was like, well, that's her baby.
Yep.
Guard, give the child to the mother.
Which, and then looking back, I feel like there's some things in the Bible, right, that are kind of hard to believe that I still think are true, but like Noah's Ark, right?
Yeah.
The world flooding, things like that. It's like a lot of people in the Christian community, some people actually just take those as more like fables, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is something that could totally happen, and if you think about it, it's genius.
Yeah.
Because if you said let's cut it in half, right? And the other woman, if it's not her baby, she'd probably just be like, "Whoa, man, this other person's baby's about to die. That's crazy." Like she wouldn't intervene, and the true mother would do anything to save that child.
Well, it's almost taking the idea of like these war tactics that they used in those days.
Yeah.
Like flanking. Like it's that. What is that but a flank?
Sure.
A juke.
Yeah, just like shocking them into action.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because this is like one of Solomon's first times as judge, as king, right?
Doing
something, and he doesn't care about how people think about him. He's not trying to like be nice to everyone. He's not trying to gain people's favor, right? He just straight up, it's like, cut that baby in half, right? Like, it's nuts, but it totally works. And we know from the scriptures, I think, that is a sign that God did bless him with the wisdom that he wanted. Or maybe he was always wise, and God just kind of helped him realize it. I don't know. But the point is, it worked.
Yeah.
And
so that's the parable of the dividing babies, the cutting of the two and the.
That's right. Now, just like a baby gets split,
Yeah.
sometimes people's political views are split. Boom. Segue. And so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a quiz together to figure out where we are politically, because sometimes people are like, hey, are you conservative? Are you moderate? Are you left? Are you right? And honestly, I don't know how to answer that question because I don't know what that means. I'm probably some on some, Sam some on some, so we're going to take a quiz. Boom. And the name of this quiz is from a little something called the political compass. I texted it to you, so let's pull that up. And what we're gonna
do I need to take it too?
Heck yeah. What we're going to do is we're both going to go through these. It looks like there's 6 pages, 6 questions. I looked through a bunch of these before sending you this one, and this is the least hokey one. This one seems to be the most relevant. Some of them are like, do you like to plan out your decisions, or are you spontaneous? Like, how's that going to tell me if I'm where I stand
This is
politically?
pretty long though, isn't it?
Not too bad.
All right. We'll jump through it.
Yeah, we'll just go through it. We got time. We got time to go. And this is an important thing to know.
Okay.
And it's going to get the ball rolling. We don't have to go into discussion of every one of these things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, but do you have it pulled up? You ready to go?
Yeah.
You on
You
your
go ahead and
computer?
read them off.
All right, let's do it. Number 1. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. So if we're going to have a global economy, should it benefit the people or the corporations? I say people.
I would say I'm right there in the middle.
All right.
So, but I guess it doesn't give me a middle option. So
Yeah, it does. Right there.
I would
Agree, strongly disagree.
I would say disagree.
Disagree? Interesting. I put agree. Not strongly.
Well, the
Disagree.
corporation is also people. So
Right. But
I kind of
You're right.
disagree with the premise. So
fair enough.
go ahead.
We just spent the rest of our time with the first question to get past question 1. Okay, number 2. I'd always support my country, whether it was right or wrong.
I'd say strongly disagree. It's a very nationalistic idea.
Right. I would say disagree as well. Not strongly disagree. Because I definitely have a view like for example, support the president even if the president sucks
Yeah.
kind of view, unless the president is straight up like committing genocide or doing serious acts of crime. So kind of I'm like disagree. I would always support even my country was a bad country, I'd support it. But when it crosses the line into like evil country, I'm like, nah, bro.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Number 3.
Number 3.
I'm trying to push you through this. We got to hold each other accountable for this, because or else we'll talk about every single one.
No one chooses his or her country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. I'm gonna strongly disagree on that one.
I disagree on that.
Okay. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. Strongly agree. Just kidding. That's a strongly disagree as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say isn't that like a pretty
That's pretty wide, straight up just white supremacist question.
Yeah.
This might be a bias quiz. We're gonna find out later.
The
enemy of my enemy.
I put strongly disagree on that one, by the way. So
to make it clear.
in case there's any doubters.
Yeah. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Disagree.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'm gonna say agree.
That's a very Buddhist outlook.
Buddhist, perhaps. I'm trying to think of not in a political scenario. Actually, I would. You know what? I'm going to say agree. Moving on. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. That's interesting. What do you think?
I'd say agree. I mean, like
I would
basically,
agree,
what
yeah.
it's. I think it's talking about like. Well, we'll move on.
Yeah, moving on. We both agree. Military action outside of international law is sometimes justified. For whatever reason, we both agree. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. I'm going to agree on that one. I agree. Not strongly disagree. Not super worrying.
Yeah.
Just somewhat worrying.
I don't really.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, next page.
People are ultimately divided more by class than by nationality.
Agree on that one.
I would say strongly agree.
Strongly agree?
Yes.
I'm going to say agree because I don't think I know enough about it. Moving on. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment.
I'm going to say strongly disagree. Wait.
Inflation. So controlling the value of the dollar
Yeah.
is more important than controlling how many people have jobs.
I just
My gut-
I disagree with trying to control either of those two things because I think it's a hierarchy,
Yeah.
and I don't think that to control something like that,
My gut is telling me agree.
the poor is going to get poorer and the rich is going to richer. That's it will happen that way.
Right.
Just as the farthest planet away from us is colder and the closer planet to us is warmer.
Yes.
I don't know.
Science.
Whatever.
All right. Got to move on. I have thoughts about this. Moving on. Because corporations can't be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. Disagree.
Strongly disagree on that one.
Wait a minute.
It's another one of those control things.
I'm going to say agree, actually. Change my mind. They need to be held accountable for the treat their environment. I agree.
Well, I believe that people can hold corporations
I'm glad you believe that, Sam.
accountable much more than the government can.
Hmm.
I just because there's a gun to your head doesn't
There's
mean
a subtext here. Is Sam right or wrong? And I put
whatever.
That's wrong.
For each according to his ability, to each according to his need, is a fundamental good idea.
From each according to his ability, to each according to his need. Is there I don't understand the question option?
Yeah. According to his ability, to each according to his need.
So yeah, let's crack this code. From each according to his ability. So people should only contribute what they're able. Maybe that's what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And to each according to his need, and give just what people need. Okay, this sounds like a socialist question.
Yeah, I'm just gonna disagree.
Yeah, fine, disagree.
Pessimist.
I'm gonna disagree because it sounds gross.
It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product.
That is a left question, and I disagree. Sneaky, but no. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. Disagree.
That's also
It's kind of a biased question.
Like,
It's a commodity. No, it's land. Land to land. It's ownership.
yeah.
Disagree.
No,
You know what? Strongly
no,
disagree.
but
Boom.
this land is the land of the native Indians of Chihuahua.
It was. Okay. Controversial.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say whether or not it was rightly taken or not, but I guess what I'm saying is that question's irrelevant because
The Land Before
time,
the
movie. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. Regrettable? I would agree. I guess it's regrettable that people do that.
regret is an individual type. So feeling like it's not. I'm not gonna regret something that I wasn't capable of.
Changing?
Yeah.
Affecting?
Yeah. So that's a disagree for me.
I guess that's true. All right. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. Do not understand the question option.
I'd say, agree. I'm guessing protection.
As some type of regulation, yeah, I'll say agree.
Yeah.
The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver profit to its shareholders. Funny. Social responsibility? Disagree. But actual responsibility, true. That's like the definition of a corporation is to maximize profits for shareholders. But as far as their social responsibility, definitely not.
No.
They should be charitable contributions and do things like that. I strongly disagree. The rich are too highly taxed. Would never know. I've never been rich.
Today, that people would say that they're not taxed enough. So,
I guess it's the question to arts. The rich are being taxed enough. I don't know. So I'm going to say
disagree.
Those with the ability.
That's another thing. Is like, who am I to say?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I bet you if I were rich, I would say, too high. But if I'm poor, I'm like, nah, tax them.
Sure.
I will say, as a general rule of thumb, I do think that people who have earned their money are entitled to it. So
no, they should pay for my student loan.
I'm going to keep.
Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. Yeah.
I say yes, as long as everyone else gets some access. As long as them doing that doesn't preclude other people from getting it at all. I agree.
But that's not what it's saying. It's
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
It's not saying like oh, if people can afford better health. Moving on.
Yeah, if people can afford better healthcare, they should buy it. Yeah.
But
Next.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that other people are going to get worse.
Exactly.
Healthcare.
Yeah. So agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Government should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Agree. I would change that to government should penalize businesses that intentionally mislead the public. That's a strong agree. But since it just mislead them, that might be negligent.
Well, here's the thing is that I would say disagree because business, depending on business, I mean, if you're talking about like a public forum like Facebook, I don't believe one bit they should penalize Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, who represents
it was
that
a public
business?
forum, right?
It's the people who pretty much give Facebook the.
So Sam's a disagree on this one.
Yeah.
Isaac's agree.
Okay. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies.
I would agree with that. I think it's been proven that monopolies do nothing but cause harm to the economy. The growth of the economy, I should say.
I would agree, but not strongly agree.
Yeah. It's pretty hard for me to strongly agree or disagree on any of these.
Yeah.
The freer the market, the freer the people. That's an interesting question. I guess on its surface, I'm going to agree. Free market because both free. There you go.
The thing is that the word free is
Make your choice.
It's so subjective now. Like,
You don't
like
get
the
it,
word.
Sam. You just don't get it.
The word male
Free,
is
man.
subjective, and so what you're gonna ask me to answer this based off of the word free. You think that is next page.
Moving on. Abortion. Oh, here we go. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal.
That's the problem, though.
This is a strong agree.
Here's the
A
problem.
strong agree from Sam. I already know. This is a strong agree from Sam.
Here's the problem with that is that.
Just answer it for what it says on its face.
Okay.
What do you think on its face? What do you say?
When a woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Say strongly.
Strongly agree. There you go. All right. I'm going to disagree. And that is going to be the topic of our next conversation, next episode. All authorities should be questioned.
No.
I'm going to say agree.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, I think they should be questioned in the sense that they should be allowed to be questioned, be held accountable.
Yeah.
So disagree. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. What do you say, Christian?
Yeah, you into that Sharia law?
I'm going to say strongly disagree. The Christian way is not that way. Turn a blind eye.
It's very, I'm gonna say, because like, religion, in the sense of you get what you pay for.
Actually, I'm going to say disagree, not strongly. In the criminal system, yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Or in the legal system, you cause damages, you got to pay it up.
I'm just gonna say agree.
All right.
Taxpayers.
You know what? You're right. I'm going to say agree. I am. Look at that. I went from strongly disagree to just agree.
Wow. I am so manipulative.
You are. No, you're convincing. That's what you are. You should be a lawyer. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. Disagree. Preservation of the arts, I think, is very important. That is a responsibility for everyone.
Schools should not make classroom. I just went ahead with yours.
It's like, I don't want to hear that.
Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory.
Disagree.
Make classroom attendance compulsory? What does that mean?
Schools shouldn't force you to go to class and penalize you if you don't go to school enough.
Agree.
What? That's crazy. Disagree.
It's the libertarian in me. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind.
I'll read that one more time.
Yeah, read that more.
All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Stay to your own kind, boy. That's for that question. That's a kind of accent that
I kind of disagree. That's an idea.
That's a strong disagree. Yeah, that's just straight up segregation. Not a fan. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. Interesting. I'm going to say disagree.
I'm going to say strongly agree.
I'm going to say strongly disagree. I'll do normal disagree. I can't. I mean,
I had
personal preference. The reason I'm disagreeing is because I think it's personal preference on parents.
Yeah.
I don't think it's across the board good or bad. Moving on. It's natural for children to keep some secrets.
Sometimes. Good parents sometimes. It's not saying all the
same
time.
Thing. Yeah, but it's a good parents. Like, I don't think that
sometimes have to.
I don't think that any. I think it's a good parent never do it.
Just whatever.
It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents.
No,
disagree. That's right. No secrets. Secrets.
Strongly disagree. No.
I'm gonna say disagree because I don't feel that passionate about it.
I don't feel that passionate about it either. But like,
some.
it's false. That's like
just obviously wrong. All right.
It's
moving on.
Oh wait. Well, it's just it's natural for some. Okay.
Oh, like, what did I say?
I would say agree. Like, it's natural. Like. To keep some
yeah, that is natural. Kids do it all the time.
Yeah.
I would say strongly agree, actually. Yeah. That's natural. Oh, they're probably saying, like, the only reason, like, children naturally do that whether you're a good parent or not. But if you're a bad parent, they probably hide stuff from you. All right. I'm saying agree.
Okay, whatever.
Going down a notch. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense.
Disagree.
Mainly because the law is the law. I'm not saying whether the law is right. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation.
Just hide behind the law.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be another episode.
Yeah.
Mr. Lawyer.
Yeah, give me that law.
It's morally right because it's lawful.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead with this one.
The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. Disagree.
Yeah, I think that...
That's not the primary function. It's an important function.
I would actually say agree. When I look at the word jobs, I think of like
Steve
a
Jobs?
role.
Oh.
To equip the future generation to find a role.
Here's another Sam's wrong button in here. Boop. Like that one. I'm just kidding. That makes sense.
People with serious
inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. So people are mentally handicapped and such. Disagree. Oh, what do you say, Sam?
I'm just gonna disagree.
Just to be safe? Is that what you feel?
No, just because I don't want to have to have a fight about it.
Is that what you want? All right, fine, moving on. Let it be known.
I have to think about it.
Sam probably strongly agrees.
The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline.
I'm going to disagree. Just go with my gut on that, though. I don't quite understand it.
I'm going to agree.
Okay. There are no savage and civilized peoples. They're only different cultures.
If we believed that, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Yep, I'm going to say disagree. I'm going to disagree. Guys, I'm saying it. Disagree. Moving on.
Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. I would agree on that.
Yeah, I agree. If you can work but choose not to, then yeah, no way, Jose. Strongly agree. Boop.
But refuse the opportunity. So it's not talking about people
That's the
who
thing,
have disability.
yeah. Disability or can't find a job is different. If you're able to work but you choose not to, no.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to say strongly agree.
Boom. Strongly agree. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. Disagree. Don't worry, be happy. Hakuna Matata, not a way to take care of problems.
First-generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country.
Disagree. What's good for the most successful corporations is always, ultimately, good for all of us. Disagree. Just my gut on that one, too. Not entirely sure.
I'm following you on that. No broadcasting institution, however independent its content, should receive public funding.
Disagree. NPR.
What?
All right. Fine.
I was just supposed to agree.
No. What do you think? We don't have to talk about it, but what do you think?
No broadcasting institution. So talking about like...
So no, like NPR, right? So public broadcasting institution that tell news stories. Even if they're totally independent, they shouldn't get public funding. The government shouldn't support it because I'm guessing it leads to bias and things like that.
Oh.
I'm going to say disagree.
Yeah. Oh. But however independent is kind of... Should... Oh, yeah. No, disagree. Okay. Yeah. Disagree.
Oh, I'm going to say agree.
Well, that means like CNN like would get money from like I see within the next few years that CNN's gonna have a file bankruptcy. The government's gonna have to bail out CNN.
Next page. As soon as I see us going down the rabbit hole, kill the rabbit.
I'm just saying nobody likes CNN.
Page 4. I'm just saying I hate them.
I didn't say that. I said that everybody hates them.
Everyone hates them. Myself, who knows?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. Disagree. What do you think?
Civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism.
I don't really understand that. Yeah, so my gut's telling me, nah, bro. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress. That's just hard for me because I hate the two-party system. But I disagree with how they're framing this question about...
Disagree.
Yeah, disagree.
Although electronic age makes official surveillance easier, only wrongdoers need to be worried.
Worried?
Disagree.
Yeah, I'll say disagree.
Because the power and the control in their hands is not. Okay, the death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. Strongly disagree. I think that petty crimes.
I feel like misdemeanors. Kill them. No, I'm going to say disagree. Death penalty should be an option for the most serious crimes. Actually, sorry, agree. I do agree. I think people who are too dangerous to live should not live. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. Okay, that's a very...
I mean, that's
agree.
It's a hierarchy.
No, it says in a civilized society, you need a hierarchy.
Yeah. So
you must always have people be obeyed, people be commanded. I'm going to disagree.
Okay.
Say your thing. Moving on. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all.
Okay, so this is kind of funny. I'm going to Nelson Atkins Museum with my cousin today, and she asked me, she'd been there before, and she
Mhm.
said last time there was like this like black swath of paint and then like yellow or something. And she said, "Do you think that if I put that on canvas, that I'd be able to put it in the Nelson Atkins Art Museum?" And I said, "No, that's stupid."
The definition of modern art is, I could have done that, but you didn't. That's what
So I'm gonna just go ahead and disagree.
I'm going to strongly disagree because Mary is, she has changed my ways on the views of art. Abstract art
Wait,
is art. So abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be art. So you're saying that the swath of paint, that's not art. So you would agree. I'm
Oh.
saying swath of paint, that is art.
No, I'm not. Just because I bring that story up and I
Oh.
think it's stupid, doesn't necessarily mean that I don't see the
Oh,
art.
so you
in
do
it.
think abstract art is art. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah.
In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Strongly disagree.
Strongly disagree.
There you go. It is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals.
Agree. Strongly agree.
Some criminals.
Strongly agree.
I'm gonna say
Just take my word on this.
Regular agree. Just the lukewarm agree. The business person.
He hasn't actually become a lawyer. He's still studying.
I'm definitely not
so-
going to be practicing criminal defense. That's for sure.
Or else your answer would change on that, I think.
Perhaps. I've seen a lot of criminal minds though.
Okay.
The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. Disagree.
Yeah, I just disagree with the premise.
It's funny. I have a brother-in-law that I know he would answer opposite of all of these for me. Shout out to you, Dougie Doug. Mothers may have careers,
but their first duty is to be homemakers.
Strongly agree. Women, get in that kitchen. No, I'm going to say disagree. I wouldn't say their first duty is homemakers. I do think.
I would say agree on that one.
Okay.
But what? Go ahead.
I would say that a woman's first duty, if she has children, is to her child.
Yeah.
I do think that.
Well, here's my thing on
But
that.
so mothers, they're mothers. Okay, yeah, agree. Not homemaker. I would replace homemaker with caretaker.
Yeah, but I think that
I would.
homemaker is like a caretaker. Like it's.
Well, either way, I'm just regular agreeing.
Yeah. So if they have a child, then
Sorry,
their
babe.
first duty is their child.
Yes.
Yeah. So if
That's
you have
right.
an opportunity to get a raise and a new role in the company, but you're going to be traveling.
You have to get a nanny. Yeah, I'm not about that.
So
Say what you will. Comment below. Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant generic resources of developing countries. No idea, so I'm going to say disagree. Making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Agree?
I don't
Peace
know
sounds
what
good.
you mean by the establishment. But
The
that's-
establishment, Sam.
Agree.
The establishment, all right? If you don't know, just read a book.
oh,
Then you'll know about the establishment. Okay, we're almost there. Ooh, this one's short.
Okay.
Thank goodness. Astrology accurately explains many things. Astrology is like your zodiac sign. Like, I'm a Capricorn. I'm a Cancer. Strongly disagree. Astrology is a bunch of malarkey. You cannot be moral without being religious. Strongly disagree, actually. Are you ready
Can
for
I
this?
be
Sorry, I'm
moral
moving on.
without being religious?
Yeah, so you can be an
Oh,
atheist
yeah, I
and still be
strongly
moral.
disagree.
Yeah, you can be moral.
Can we just like throw? That's something maybe that we could have like discussed.
You know what? This is actually great
This is
topics
like-
for future episodes. We'll keep coming back to this. This will be 2020's theme going through this quiz. Charity is better than Social Security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged.
Yeah,
Charity is better than Social Security.
so I would say
Agree.
I would say strongly agree.
All right. I'm just regular agreeing.
That's basically saying that churches are better than the government in helping in situations of need.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as like charity, like just people's own, like rich people, whatever,
Sure.
just giving away is better than Social Security. I think Social Security is a good structure and guaranteed
Well, so-
way. So I'm saying disagree though.
Social Security is more money based. I think that charity is a lot more time based.
I think you're right. Moving on.
But-
Some people are naturally unlucky. Disagree. That's a disagree. Strongly disagree. No such thing as luck. There is such thing as luck, but not natural luck or natural unluck.
I'm gonna disagree on that just because of because primarily just unlucky. Unlucky is you're not prepared and you don't have the opportunity.
Bingo. It's important that my child school instills religious values.
I would say no.
I would say no as well.
Religious
I agree that,
I would disagree with
schools-
the instilling part.
yeah, that's not school's job. As much as I would like it, I do think it would be better. I don't think that is.
Because just
That
as I
infringes on
explained to
rights.
somebody the other
Disagree.
day that in the instance of taking away guns
Mm-hmm.
or giving more power to the government, Bernie wants to do that.
Mm.
And so if you re-elect another Republican into office after Bernie takes more control.
Next page. Just kidding. You can go.
What I'm saying though is that a school determining the religious values, what is a religious value,
Right.
and what isn't.
Yeah. That's a problem. That's why
that's-
it'd be too hard. Too
That's
confusing.
subjective.
Yeah.
And you don't want to give somebody objective control over a subjective
issue.
topic.
You're absolutely
issue.
right. Yep.
So
Disagree.
next page, we're done.
Next page. Here we go. Last
Oh
one.
wait, this is the last one.
That was the last one.
Sex outside of marriage is usually immoral. I would strongly disagree.
Sex
Say it's-
outside of marriage is usually immoral. I would strongly agree.
Wait, what?
Sex outside of marriage, like having sex before you're married.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So like disagree.
Yeah, but that's also moral. So immoral meaning
It's immoral. It's a
wrong
no.
ethically. So yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
sorry,
still
I'm gonna say
agree with
no.
that.
A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from the possibility of child adoption. Ooh.
Wait, a
Here
same-sex
we go.
couple
I'll let you
in
answer
a
this one first.
stable, loving relationship.
So you
Should
have
not be
you
excluded
have
in
two
a-
same-sex
yes.
couple that are good to go. Can they adopt? Yes or no?
s-
So what's that, Sam? You say a little louder.
In a stable, loving relationship should not be. I would strongly agree with that.
Okay.
Topic for another video.
Pornography depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population.
I would say disagree. Strongly
Strongly
disagree.
disagree.
I'm very
killer of love.
libertarian on a lot of things, but as far as something like that,
That's
like
tough.
I think that, yeah. I mean, it already is. It's just really poorly enforced.
Yeah.
You go to the website. Are you 18?
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
say like,
I'm
yeah, I was
18.
born in 1922. It's like, just be safe. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. I'm guessing sexually, and I would say strongly agree. Come on, Sam. And no false hypotheticals. Not like, but what if like their sexual fantasy is like to murder someone? No.
Yeah.
Duggan's
Okay.
like-
So I'd say strongly agree.
No one can feel naturally homosexual.
I would actually say agree on that.
I would
Because
say
I'm kind of like disagreement
disagree.
of the no, I'm talking about the last one. Is that
Oh.
I'm having disputes of like what is an adult and like, so I can't like definitively.
All right.
But
So no one can feel naturally homosexual. That is a strong
strongly
disagree. Yeah, I think that is natural.
no one can.
I'd have
feel
my own theories
naturally?
as
what
to-
do you mean naturally?
Like you're born this way. Nature versus nurture. I do think this actually could help another conversation. We're moving on.
Wait, what did you say again?
I said disagree.
Okay.
Not that. I straight changed to disagree. And finally, these days, openness about sex has gone too far. I'm gonna agree. I think it's too much. I really do.
Yeah.
There's
I
like
would say agree.
pansexual and quasi transsexual.
Well,
and there's
especially
just,
when
like,
there's,
I just
like-
feel like they're just making it up. Call me an old white guy, but I just feel like there's just too much. I don't think there's that many. I think people are looking for identities.
There's kids coming out and saying like at 9, 8 years old, like
Yeah,
I am identifying as, like I have sex with this. Like you're 9.
Yeah, and just like I'm sexually like I just
Because
and
that's
the
what
fact is
sexual
that they're
id-
enabled. But you know what? This is obviously a hot button topic. That's another. Okay, here we go. Let's see where you stand. Click the thing. 3, 2, 1. What do you got? Oh, whatever. What am I? Oh, it's a.
I'm fairly moderate as far as the social scale, and I'm fairly moderate as far as the economic scale.
What does mine say? Tell me what it says. Make it.
No,
Oh, your political compass. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. You have to scroll down. It's whatever this one is. Go down to that one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm Hitler. No,
Whoa, I'm Mussolini.
I'm like dead in the middle. You too.
I'm pretty close. This is where I am.
That's funny. Like I said, I'm a little bit more right than you.
Yeah.
I'm more on the right.
Here,
and
lift your
you're-
thing up. I want to see it.
Okay.
thing, meaning the laptop for our listeners. Okay. All right. Let's get his. Show the camera.
Can we turn this around?
Camera. Look at this. So this right here, if you look, is okay. Now it's on me. On the line, Sam and I are both more libertarian.
Yes.
Than authoritarian. But I am more on the left and Sam's more on the right. I never in a million years would have thought that. I would have thought for sure I'm more of a right person. Maybe. We are both just barely. We are touching the line.
Maybe I could turn this around here.
Between left and right. So we're fairly moderate about a lot of things. But
okay, so yeah.
Okay, so what does this tell us? It's important to go through quizzes like this because if someone says, are you left wing or right wing?
Are you a fascist?
Yeah. Are you left wing or right wing? The fact is you can't just be like, oh, I'm left. Because the reason why I think we're so close to this line is because we're actually more right leaning on certain issues and left on certain issues.
Yeah.
But you put it all together, if you have to slap a label on it, I am a slightly left, slightly libertarian person.
But you're
That's
moderate.
so crazy to me. Yeah. I'm moderate.
I would have honestly thought like after taking this, like let me be just straightforward and honest and say that I thought I was way more radical right. Or not, I thought that it would have coined me as someone who's way more radical.
Sure.
And yet like
Same.
I'm 100% moderate. I'm one notch away from being dead in the center.
Now, granted, this is according to just one quiz. This is a political compass quiz, right? This is just one. So maybe you should do a couple to be sure. But based off this, that was a pretty thorough quiz.
Yes.
So, yeah, look at that.
Okay, now my disagreement on the quiz, as I prompted earlier, is that I don't believe that it's 2D. I believe it's more three-dimensional, and that whenever I made this, I actually made this before I saw this quiz. I created this same quadrant, and then whenever I did this, is that you see how like on... So on this, after you take this quiz, it also points out like where Hitler is, where Stalin is, where Friedman, where Gandhi is. A lot of these really, I'd say,
very extreme examples of every category.
Extreme, yeah. And where they.
Let me know, I'm closest to Gandhi, so
yeah.
There you go.
Gandhi's pretty close to being communist. Let's just make that clear. And Friedman is he's a psychologist, isn't he? Who was Friedman? Eric Friedman? Is that his name?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm not
gonna pretend to know.
Keep looking. Keep doing the thing.
So
but anyway,
so what I was saying though is that this is a 2D representation, but I believe it's more of a three-dimensional because I think that fascism and anarchism.
Milton Friedman's an economist. Sorry, continue.
Economist, okay. And he's
this guy. Commit that to memory. You're like him.
Oh yeah.
This is you in the 50 years.
No, he's very nationalist. He's very
saying.
Oh no!
Apparently, you're on a trajectory to being a libertarian.
So what I'm saying though is that fascism and anarchism actually end up overlapping. Like where you have like this is reality, you have to like take into account like thought, and when you take into account of that like this utopian idea, it turns into a more three-dimensional image of political labels.
Interesting.
Like I believe that fascism is just around the corner from anarchism, just as communism is just around the corner of neoliberalism.
Okay, so either way, then that's the thing, and this is maybe a conversation
or individualism
for another day.
Versus collectivism, but individualism is, I believe, would be in the middle.
But the fact is, it's hard. It's easy to throw labels on stuff because it means you don't have to take the time to explain.
Mormon,
boom. Already get all the horrible things associated and the great things.
Do you agree? I want to ask you. I never asked you this question, but do you think that do you agree with everything that the Mormon Church does?
Yes.
Everything.
Yep.
100%.
Absolutely. Every single thing. And the reason is because I do believe that the church is led by prophets and apostles called of God. I don't think that they're perfect. So maybe their individual opinions on things.
Yeah.
That's different. But anything that is released as a collective mass of the church leadership, the church policies, right?
Yes.
I'm on board with.
Okay. That's a topic for another day.
Absolutely.
I think you're crazy for thinking that, but...
Call me crazy.
But more on the topic of political labels and whatnot, I think that
Moron topic? Was that you just calling me a moron subtly? I'm triggered.
I think that this is I can't stress more that like I would have thought that I would have leaned more on
Yeah.
the right, like, and not moderate.
And I think the reason
Right.
why we're both so surprised, because the fact is, when back against the wall, when someone actually, cause I know you probably know how you think you feel about a certain topic, but when the question is really right in front of you and you realize, like, oh, if I strongly agree on this or strongly disagree, that's going to implicate that I feel this way about this. Like when it's right against you, I think people realize, meaning us, that you're not as dedicated to certain ideas as you thought you were, and so you're more like, agree.
Yeah.
But there are a couple
some
things where like absolutely 100%, but we're not that way on every single thing, you know, and
Yeah.
so, and that's okay, right? It's okay to not be 100% for or against something as you're trying to work out your opinion, because the most foolish political view you can have, I think this is across the board dumb, is Democrat. No, I'm just kidding. No, the most foolish political thing you can have is one that is absolutely unchanging, right? Political views,
absolutist.
like
an absolutist ideology.
Yep, and this is not, you can't change my mind, because even if you get facts that are clearly contrary to what you think,
Yes.
and you're not change your mind, that's just dumb.
So
why would you do that?
So you say this, you say that, that's dumb.
That is dumb.
I think that you can use better language than that.
Stupid. Foolish.
It's foolish.
It's immature. It's naive. That's what it is.
In the realm of political, but as far as religiously, you just told me that it's the complete opposite for you.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because actually, as I was saying that, I was thinking, if you said that about religion, like absolute unchanging, right?
Yes. You're an absolutist on religion, but you're not an absolutist. And you
politically,
you believe that foolishness begins with absolutists of policy.
And I actually would say
political.
It's pretty similar when it does come to religion. It depends, though. There are certain non-negotiables, right? There are things that this is the best way I can explain it. It's like,
because clearly, like, I have like a lot of things that I disagree with the Mormon Church, the
Sure.
Church of Jesus, like, and like I can like.
And you're wrong about those things, right? Like we both can agree with that. I'm just kidding. But here's the way I see it, and this might be a good way to wrap it up.
Okay.
Because someone's like, how can you like believe in something that you're like? So let me ask you: have you ever been to China?
Never.
You ever been?
Never.
Never.
Never been to China.
But you know China's real.
Yes.
How do you know that? You've never been.
Seen pictures.
You've seen pictures.
Seen
People have told
video.
you about it. A lot of talk about the Wuhan.
Yeah.
A lot of coronavirus
Told me
right now.
about it.
That's the thing, is I have never set foot in China, right?
Yeah.
But I am 100% sure that it's real. I'm 100% sure it exists.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, if something were to happen and someone would say, Isaac, this is actually like the Truman Show, right? And China is not real. You've seen the Truman Show, right?
Yes.
China's not real. Everything else about the world is real, but China, everyone is in on the same boat, and we all been trying to trick you about China, right? Like, let's say, or like, if I were to try to go to China, the plane just flies in a circle and everyone changes the set and I land, I'm in China, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, is if I were to find out that China actually doesn't exist, it would have to go against every single thing that has happened in my life to lead me to be this sure that China doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And for me, it's the exact same thing with some things of my faith. Jesus Christ being real, being the Savior of the world, the Son of God. I am as sure that that is true as there is China. I've never seen him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Never had a face-to-face conversation with him. But I know that there is technically the possibility that I could be wrong. But for me to find out that that's wrong would have to be as mind-blowing as China's not real. You know what I mean? That's how I compare it. Now, there are some things that you can change your mind about, like, for example, on certain views about how certain religion applies, but there are some non-negotiables. And I think it's important to have that in religion and in politics, frankly. There's certain non-negotiables you need to have. And then everything else should be subjective. And with that, I mic drop.
Okay. Well, I've got something to close on. And I didn't even mention it while we were
talking.
About the
the one where the whites are the superior race?
I hope somebody
That's the
takes
one.
that clip and just spreads it all across the internet.
Like if I ever run for office, like
Yes.
look at what Isaac Ames says. Whites are the superior race. Whites are the superior race. Whites are the superior race. He thinks whites are the superior race.
Yeah, and then you'll end up just like McCain,
Yeah.
running for president and
Dead.
then kicked out of the Republican Party 4 years.
Oh, jeez.
Does that hurt?
Too soon?
Anyway, so Hebrews 4:12 it says that for the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and a discerner of thoughts and intents of the heart. That's clearly reflective of the story with Solomon, as far as the sword.
What does it say? Is this was like what is this the sword? What's the beginning say?
I don't like this version.
The King James version.
It's not the King James version.
Oh. Well, there's your problem.
I think it's the ESV or something. I'll give you the King James version though, because the King James version, I'm about that life. Sometimes.
KJV.
It's Hebrews 4:12. But think of the. Okay, now you have it. 4:12. For the word of God is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing to the division of the soul and of spirit, of joints and marrow, and discerning the thoughts and intentions of the heart.
That's a powerful scripture. It kind of depends on what you mean, what you think it means by the word of God, but the general premise behind that, I think, is true. I do think that, just the gut reaction I get from that is I do think there is a place for religious belief and attaching to political views. And I think that your religion should enhance politics. I don't think it should be a total separation because it's one and the same. It's who you are. That's what I think. But
yeah, that is like very. Do you remember the story that we talked about though?
Oh yeah.
And how like the sword was going to divide the baby in two, and it's saying that basically truth divides soul and spirit, and bone and joint and marrow.
It's true. It's all like the word of God, like it separates
soul, but also
it separates truth from falsehood. Right? Is that what it's saying? Separates bad from good, divides it, two-edged sword.
Yeah.
And kind of like how,
and then discerning the thoughts and intentions of the heart.
And that's exactly what Solomon did, right? He
discerned the
intentions
of the hearts of those two individuals.
He found the truth, and the truth has come out.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, with that said, Sunday morning live.
Sunday morning live. That's not our theme song, but it can be.
I'm getting there. We'll volume it in right here, just just real subtle, right yonder.
We will see you next time.
Yeah, and be sure to subscribe.
And smash that like button.
Give us money.
Give us money.
I don't know where.
We have no money.
But okay.
Okay, that's that's it. Give us money.